YouTube. What's up? This Preacher. So, I just got done filling up at the pilot, right? And I'm up in Ohio. Sorry if the video's shaking. You know, I'm driving. But, man, this trucker, you know, young guy, he was a really nice guy. Yeah, he was white. And he was like, he don't mean to try to stereotype me or make me mad because he asked me a question. So I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? He said, you want my honest answer? I said, okay, no problem. He said, so he see all these videos from people who always criticize folks for wearing sandals, you know, gym shorts, when they're getting out of their semi-truck and stuff like that. They see them pumping gas, going inside the store, or going to these shippers and receivers and they wearing sandals and the gym shorts. And they're like, well, you should be wearing these here, you know, these boots and the jeans and the button-down shirts and stuff. I said, yeah, I see them too. I've been seeing them for decades inside of the truck, and people been talking about them, had their opinion on them, he said. And so he noticed that I'm wearing gym shorts and sandals, and he just want to know why I wear and stuff. So I asked him, so the people who are making these videos about that you are seeing, I said, they white, right? I said, you wanted me to be straight up with you, right? So let's talk straight up for a second. He said, yeah. I said, okay, and what are their background? Where do they come from? Right? He said, well, what do you mean? I said, what are their background? Where do they come from? Most of them dip, right? They have dip in their mouth, right? So yeah, they more country people, right? So yeah, they never grew up around demographic that is kind of equal, or, you know, 60-40 for as people, right? Right. I said, yeah. I said, because what happens is they look at the people who they hang around with and who they grew up with, and that's how they dress all the time. It didn't matter if they was in trucking or what, that's how they dress. Right? Then they got inside of trucking and they continued to dress like that. So that's not a trucker's uniform, that's just how they grew up. When you go to jobs, because I was a chef before I got inside of trucking, my work uniform was chef clothes, chef wear. I had, you know, slip-resistant shoes that wore, because it was specified for like to wear inside of the kitchen. We had a work uniform, and that's what we had. I had chef coats to put on because that was the outfit for work, for kitchen work. Just like the servers had their own uniform for their particular job, because they wanted to go with a certain look and theme for the particular job. I'm like, there's no dress code in trucking. I said, now, if you're going to be doing any outside work where you got to deal with spills or hot liquids and things like that, that makes sense. I'm not saying what they are saying doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it makes sense, but who said that it has to be jeans? Who says that it has to be boots? If you're doing the type of trucking where you're doing cattle and stuff like that, you out there in the mud and everything like that, yeah, boots work for you. All right, well, what if the type of trucking that you do, you know, you always on asphalt or cement? Well, why would you need boots? No, you can wear some slip-resistant shoes for you know, to do your job. It should be okay, right? Right. Well, what if you hot all the time, right? I said, you don't see the people down south in Florida and Georgia always wearing long sleeve shirts and jeans all the time inside their trucks. No, they don't do that. Why they don't do that? Because it's hot. It's 95, 97, 98 degrees. So if you always in that particular area, you know you're not gonna dress like that because your climate is totally different than more people up north, where your nights gets down to 68 degrees, 65 degrees. Your mornings be in the 60s, low 70s. You come down to Florida, your mornings is in the 85 degrees in the morning. Your nights is 80 degrees, 81, 82 degrees. What I'm trying to tell you is, just because you dress a certain way, it doesn't make you a professional trucker. You can look professional and still treat other people like garbage. I said, I can dress exactly how they are saying, right? I can wear the shoes, I can wear the jeans, I can wear the shirt, I can dress just how they are saying, right? And they still would treat me like trash because the color of my skin. You hear it on the CB radio all the time. You hear all these racist people talking. You hear the conversations. They don't even see the person. They just talking about the person because of the color of their skin. You can dress exactly how they want you to dress. They still gonna treat you like trash. So just because they dress like that makes them a professional? No. You can look like a professional and act very unprofessional. I hold the door open for them. I say, hey, good morning. How you doing? I hold the door open. They don't even say thank you. They'll walk right on in. Won't say a word. The same people who dressing like that, you see them in the bathroom. They'll use the bathroom. Won't even wash their hands. You see them get out the truck. They piss bottles on the side of the fuel aisle. Dump their trash right there. Don't even put their trash in the trash can. But they got boots on. They got jeans on. So that's okay. It's stereotyping. You know, just because somebody don't look like you think they should look, or they're not driving what you think that they should drive, you know, you downgrade them. The same people, if you're not driving one of the long-nosed Peterbilts or Kenworths, and you pull up in your little Freightliner, you know, or your International, what does that do to you? If you're not shifting, I remember when the automatics was come out. Oh, you're not a real trucker if you're not driving the stick. Well, okay, well, if you drive for these companies, all the companies start going into these here automatics now, right? So that was the thing back then. They make you feel, you know, inferior because you don't have a manual. You're driving an automatic. They try to tell you about the type of truck that you have. Okay, an International will have the same engine and transmission that a Peterbilt will have in it, or a Kenworth will have in it. The exact same engine, the exact same transmission, the exact power, gear ratio, the whole 9 yards. It will have the same thing, but it's an International truck, right? What makes that truck different than your truck? Oh, I got a Peterbilt though, and it has the same engine, the same transmission that your truck has. It can do the exact same thing that your truck can do. Because I have an International, or I have a Freightliner or something, that makes it inferior now. Because you got a Peterbilt, a long nose. You got these big 12-inch pipes and everything like that. It's sounding all things. Yeah, but okay, I can get the load there just like you can get the load there. And you know what? It's gonna cost me less money to get the load there because my truck gonna burn less fuel than what your truck is going to burn. So you're going to spend more money to get the load there than I'm going to spend to get the load there. So we get paid the same thing for to haul that freight. But yet I'm going to save $250 on fuel compared to what you're going to save on fuel. Who's the smarter person now? I'm going to make less money because I want to keep up with the hype. Right. A lot of people is losing their trucks and saying there's no money inside this market because they're trying to keep up with the hype of others. I'm saying, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is if you young in the trucking, you know, truck how you want to truck. Don't let other people influence you. If you feel like you want to wear jeans and boots all day and those type of shirts, hey, you wear it. That's gonna make you feel good personally. That's you. You be that way. If you feel like you don't want to wear that, maybe you do want to wear the jeans and a t-shirt. Maybe you don't want to wear some sandals. You want to wear tennis shoes instead of wearing boots. You do what's comfortable for you because at the end, you are the one who's driving this in a truck. You are the one who's got the ball. I said people say things about me and about my flip-flops sometimes, but they don't know that, okay, I had got hurt when I had boots on. Got hurt, all right? And my toe got stabbed through the side of the boot. Not the steel toe part, but it came up from the middle of the shoe and it just went in and stabbed my toe on the side. On the side, like right there on my toe from up under. When I was under my truck, when my transmission had went out. One time at night and I couldn't see, right? I had steel toe boots on, Timberlands on, and my toe still got injured. So you can't be like it's gonna stop you, or yeah, it can limit the chances. Yes, it can, but things still can happen. And then my toe wound up getting infected because it stabbed me all the way to the bone. The bone had got infected. I did all different types of treatments that I did to try to save that toe, but the bone was infected. And they was like, hey, before this thing starts spreading, we got to take this toe so we can save the rest of your toes in your foot. So we don't have to cut that out. Well, I'm like, well, take the toe. Let's do it. Let's save it. You know, so because I didn't have that and I had heart surgery, sometimes my legs swell and my feet swell. So now my tennis shoes and boots be too tight. So I'm wearing my sandals because it's too tight to have on and it becomes very uncomfortable because my foot then swole up. So I wear the sandals. I have bad days and I wear the sandals. Now if it's raining, if I'm inside a place, mud and everything like that, I do what I have to do, you know. But if not, I wear the sandals. And then when my foot is down to its regular size, I go back and I wear my shoes. So you don't know the reason why people are wearing the stuff that they are wearing. But just because they look a certain way, it doesn't mean that they are not professional. You can look professional. I see the same people be so rude to people. So what makes you professional? Because you look professional? That doesn't make you professional. You can look the part and still not be the part. You really can. And then the shippers and receivers gonna treat you the same exact way. No matter how you look. It doesn't matter how you look, they're gonna treat you the same exact way. You can look professional, go in there, treat them with love and kindness, and they would still treat you like garbage, like you don't exist. Why? Just because you're in trouble. You would still be there all day to unload you. Why? Because they don't care about your time. You can be like, as truckers, we supposed to be professional. Yeah, you can say that. You can say we supposed to be professional. You can say that all the time. But then ask the other question, do we act professional though? We can look it all day long, but do you act that way? No, you don't act that way. You don't. So I don't take much stock into it. I really don't. I don't really care, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't. I really don't care. I don't care what people say about me. They talked about Jesus, and he was perfect. He ain't do nothing. They still talked about him. So, I mean, what's that going to do? You can't worry about what people is going to say about you, especially inside this business. You see what they do just because the company that you start with, they forgot that they was starting at 1.2. They always forget about that, right? Everybody has started out before. Now, they may have been driving for years, and it was more companies that took people because the standards was totally different. And I tell these people who's been in trucking, when they say, well, I've been in trucking for 15 years. Yeah, but you probably was one of the reasons why we got all these regulations now. They ain't regulating this stuff because of me. I just got inside this business, right? So all these regulations wasn't because of me. It was because of people who've been in this industry for 10, 15, 20 years, and how they was driving the stuff that they was doing while we got all these regulations. So the same people who's trying to tell you how to act and what you should do, well, you need to look at them. It's like, well, okay, did it work for you? Because obviously that being professional and you dressing like this and all this other particular stuff cause us all these regulations that we have right now. Again, you got to look at the big picture of things, okay? Look at the big picture. And we was having a great conversation sitting out there, just talking back and forth, sharing stuff back and forth. But I try to tell any young person, man, listen, don't get inside the hype. Don't get inside the hype. Especially now they got a social media platform where they can get up and tell you their thoughts and opinions. Everybody got thoughts and opinions. There's nothing wrong with having thoughts and opinions. You can feel like, hey, I feel like everybody should dress like this and do this. Well, okay, well, that would make me different then, wouldn't it? We all different people, come from different backgrounds. And a lot of older people don't like change. That's the reason why they bring up when other people get together and they go on strikes to make stuff happen. That, well, we as truckers need to come together. How can we come together if we always spreading hate and we are dividing ourselves from others? We do that ourselves. As truckers, we divide ourselves from each other truckers. We categorize ourselves. We make our own categories of truckers. We talk about all other truckers all the time. Because you don't look like me or you don't drive the type of truck that I drive. We have all that division. If you are a Republican or a Democrat, you're always bumping heads on issues. Everybody want to point the finger and blame the one party for one thing and another party for another thing. We find reasons to always divide us instead of to come together for particular stuff. Instead of saying that, okay, this party is responsible for this, or that party is responsible for that. We always start the division. Oh, the Democrats do all this. Yeah, each party is responsible for everything inside the trucking industry. We can point to each party for stuff that they did or did not do or allowed to happen under their watch. We don't never have nothing good to say about no party in trucking. If the Democrats take control, the Republicans talk about the Democrats. If the Republicans take control, the Democrats is talking about the Republicans. instead of just bringing us together on the issues in parties. Nobody got nothing good to say. Just like when the fuel was up to almost $6, $5.50 or something like that per gallon, what everybody was saying, right? Oh, look at Biden, look at Biden, look at Biden with all this fuel and stuff. Now that it's down to $3.50, well, they're not talking about Biden so bad about the fuel, but they're trying to find something else to talk about Biden. Well, how about Biden? I thank you for getting the fuel costs under situations back to almost like a manageable number. Let's keep it going in the right direction. Okay, let's try to tackle this direction. It started off rocky, but it did this. Okay, I mean, talking about brokers' transparency, but Biden needed to do something about what happened with Trump, and they went up to the White House, and they had a whole bunch of stuff with TCL back there when Trump was in there. That was the Republicans, right? They have to do something. But they don't talk about that. They just carry over issues from each party to whatever party is in. And now you talk about that party and you put all the issues on the particular party that just happens on both sides. Instead of just being like, okay, how can we come together as a trucking community? How can we? How can we put our own biased thoughts and traits aside and come up with a common goal and get together? The reason why the railroad people came up with something, they got things done because they all was unified. They didn't let their race separate them on matters. They all came together, put away their greater differences to the side, and said, we're gonna all stick together on one particular common goal. And we're going to fight with this. We don't care who's in office or who's in government. If we get together and say, hey, we need this particular change, and come together with it and then stick with it for the long term. And that's the other thing. We don't stick with nothing. Everybody starts stuff but don't stick with it. We don't stick with it. We really don't. We stick with something. We're too separate on issues. We can't fight for nothing because we're too separate on issues. And then all of a sudden you talk about a group of people all the time, and now all of a sudden you want that group help. Why would that group help you when you always been talking about them? Now you wonder why they don't want to come together for a cause. Well, because you've been throwing all the hate on that particular group for years, for months, all the time. So why all of a sudden, why they will come to hate, help you now on an issue? It's fine to have creative differences, it is, but you have to be insane to always doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Oh, we gonna do this, yeah, but you keep doing the same thing that's not working, but you keep expecting a different result. It's not gonna work. It can't. I remember this video always is going long, so I'm gonna have to stop. But man, I remember about like 10, 15 years ago, you can go to a truck stop, one person be out there with a little grill and everything, people would come together, sit around and talk. They weren't even talking about no race and nothing like that. They used to help. Driver be put over the side of the road, you see another driver pulled over trying to help that particular driver. Okay, now we got truckers fighting in the fuel aisle, fighting inside over parking spots. You got all this stuff going on. Then you wonder why truckers can't come together, because we always fighting each other. We are our worst enemy. Our own worst enemy. All right, I just wanted to talk about that for a second. Y'all take it easy out.